looked this good.
The Western class champions have shown up today, and they are not intending to slow down, it appears. They are up 2-0 against the Playing Ducks, and it might be a 3-0 with the way they're playing.
The Playing Ducks have to make a stand right now. They have to say, okay, this didn't go our way, but we are better than this. And they are. So they have to show that now. But Dignitas, as you said, they're out for blood. They don't want to waste any time here. They want to be going 3-0 in the series and saying, like, Team Liquid are coming for you.
Let's find out where we're going for game number 3. Our two teams will do battle on Infernal Shrines. Dignitas was given away the map choice. Playing Ducks will grab first pick.
Infernal Shrines, that's going to be also an interesting map to play, because I could see again a ban on the Gul'dan going into the draft. So far, the Playing Ducks have always said, Gul'dan, we don't want to deal with him. Mene is strong on the hero. He catered towards the maps that we've been playing up to now too. Infernal Shrines is not really any exception in that equation, so we could see Gul'dan banned, we could see him played, Mena's going to look for it, we might see another Kalthas play. This is one of the maps where Dignitas is running the hero, but at this point the Playing Ducks, they need to make sure that they come out with a strong draft and that they then shut down Dignitas and say like, okay boys, until here and not further.
I wanted to ask you, do you think Ragnaros is getting a little bit too much priority in this matchup between these two players, or is it more of just kind of a, hey, it's whatever?
I actually don't think that he gets too much priority. I think Ragnaros is an absolutely fantastic hero that has a lot going for him, especially with good ult comms. If you lock a target down, you get a good smash in. So I think he is very, very strong.
I also think that I wanted to add more onto that Dignitas grabbed Ragnaros early last game, and while it was strong, I think it's more of just keep it away from the Playing Ducks, because Dignitas is obviously showing that they're ready to end the game as soon as they can. And with Ragnaros being able to slow it down, they don't want to allow any opportunities for the Playing Ducks to make a comeback. So it's actually very interesting for me to see Dignitas grabbing it early, and I want to see if it's going to be reflected again here on this map in Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, so we have a bit of a different start here. Again, the Tacit and the Lucio being banned out. It has oftentimes happened. It's big priorities. And Arthur's being picked immediately. So again, on Infernal Shrines, you want to establish the position on the shrine themselves. Arthur's is great for that, and also he has with that AoE a lot of tools where he can pick up a couple of those minions. Again, when we're looking at Dignitas, heroes that we have to think about is, for now, for example, also the Gul'dan. So far, Playing Ducks banned him out. Dignitas now has to say, okay, do we value Gul'dan high enough to pick him in the first rotation? Or is it something where we are saying, like, yes, if we get him, it's fine, but if you want to take him away, then do so. We have other heroes that we can choose for Mene. We can drop a Kalthas in here, for example. And also, of course, coming back to the question, Malfurion early on, yes or no?
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't mind seeing a Malfurion Gul'dan here. Also, double global can be strong on this battleground too, and they've shown that they're ready to throw that coordination in there and really apply the global strat to almost a T. So multiple options available for Dignitas. Let's find out what they're going to be moving into against their opponents.
And Malfurion is in, Greymane already chosen. Okay, so for now they are saying, like, if you want to have the Gul'dan, take him by all means or ban him out. And I really don't think that is something that Dignitas has to worry about. Mene, we saw him on the Kalthas, we see him on Jaina, we see him on Lim Ming, he's playing Gul'dan here. You can't outban the guy. It's just literally impossible to just try to drain him of heroes where he's good at.
Sure.
So one way or another, it's just a question, do you want to deal with the Horrify, yes or no? And if the Playing Duck says, like, nope, that tool is just too strong in their hands, then by all means, ban him out or take him yourself.
Well, I also think Johanna being a priority for the Playing Ducks, suddenly Gul'dan becomes even more scarier. He's lost, because Johanna lost more health in the latest patch, and she's actually more susceptible to those type of poking abilities. So Playing Ducks might not actually want to run Johanna here, so they did leave it up and available. Let's see what the pickup will be. I think Gul'dan is so strong on this battleground in particular, though. You keep pointing on it. The Shrine control is just legendary. Again, the Horrifies are wonderful around the entire control of the corridors. Vala and Zarya are the pickups.
Priority for Vala is pretty high, and especially for the Playing Ducks, it makes a whole lot of sense. Chris is great on the hero. We saw Sport Billy playing him. We have Zarya now also for the added shield, so there's very good poke from outside the shrine as well. And of course the shields to support Arthas and Vala. I like the setup so far for the Playing Ducks. This is a very solid start into the draft.
So in terms of bans, what are we thinking about? Potentially a Rhaegar ban?
You could ban a Rhaegar out if you wanted here. Support ban would definitely make sense. What else could they turn away? I mean, we have also like Oriel as a potential burst healer here, comboing off with Avala. We've seen that a few times already being used by them. So I guess like you ban out one of the supports in this case right now. Malfurion has already been taken. Would make the most sense to me.
Yeah. And then over on the other side, I'm thinking about what will be banned out for the playing Ducks. We haven't seen much Tyrael this tournament. However, Tyrael and Greymane is something that we've seen ran pretty often from Dignitas in particular. And it's still a strong combination. I mean, obviously you miss out on the imposing will, which was important.
Ragnaros banned out over support, so making sure that Rag can't be added to that front line. Tyrael, as you just pointed out, would be a decent ban for playing Ducks. Greymane, together with the Sanctification, is something that you usually don't really want to deal with. And normally in Infernal Shrines, that's a great tool to use because every single battle that you have, or the forced fights, are usually happening around the shrines. That's a very controlled area where you get even more value out of a Sanctification. So you could say, Tyrael, we're not going to deal with that. But playing Ducks, since they picked up the Arthurs and neglected the Johanna, seem to just try and deny some of the wave clear to Dignitas.
So now Dignitas won't be able to pick their third and fourth slot. And this is where we should see the Gul'dan if we're going to see the Gul'dan. You grab it now, you set yourself up to be able to clear out those shrines. In terms of warriors here, this is usually a Murden map for JPL. He seems to go Murden on this battleground pretty often. And
we have a couple of choices. You can go Murden, you have the Tyrael available. You can play the Stitches here out as well. They've done that in the past. True. But if you think what they've did on Tomb of the Spider Queen was a different approach. It was the Tyrannus Stitches comp with the Kel'Thas for the lockdown. You could try and do that with the Malfurion and his roots as well. Maybe play the Kel'Thas again, since he could drop the Gravity Lapse. So it depends a bit on how they want to run it. It's actually also a hero that they ran in the first part of the season. In one of their first games on this particular map, they've been running Stitches. So it's one of the few teams that will throw the Stitches out every now and then. But this, of course, would be a different to play. But if they want to establish shrine control, Stitches is more the guy that is sitting from the outside and trying to get a hook in.
Yeah, trying to get the poke in. All right, let's find out. Dahaka and Murden are going to be the pickups here for Dignitas. So now they get the Murden for JPL, Dahaka here for Snitch, I believe. They can get the global control. Zele can also play it too. We'll have to see what their fifth pickups is. I'm kind of wondering if they might just randomly pull out a Medivh here now with the lineup they have.
I personally don't think so, just because of who would play the Medivh. Like, that's more... Usually you have Snitch on the Medivh, then again, where do you put mana?
On the Greymane, he's done it once before, but...
It's not really his comfort zone, I feel. Like,
True.
If he has to, he can play it, but why try to throw that curveball with everything that you've been doing so far has been working out for you? So normally I would say, yes, would fit here and would be something that they could pull off. But I think that mana is probably just like saying, hey guys, give me one of my usual heroes and we have this locked down easy. So that's why I would say that I'm probably not going to do it here. Playing Ducks, on the other hand, I mean, first of all, they still need like their main support. So we talked about the options for them. They can go into the Rhaegar, they can go into the Oriel here. Those are probably the most dominant ones. A bit more damage in the backline would probably not hurt either. So another Mage Gul'dan hasn't been used yet. That's a Sonya for the front, so a very heavy front line actually. And with that, I could definitely see another Kel'Thas play for Mina.
I like the Ariel. There's a Gul'dan we've been talking about for the entire draft. Ariel helping out the Dahaka and the Murder if they ever get close. You drop down the Attainment Strike, you get to hug your Vol a little bit more. Rhaegar's kind of been in a weird spot lately. One, he just kind of has to play a little bit more reserved, more Malfurion-esque. As of late with these double tank compositions, because if he ever gets locked down, it's a world of hurt to lose that support.
I really like him with the Sonya though, because you can get the Lightning Shield as well, and it's just like, you already are in a position where you want to have the shrine control. You have the Arthas in there, you have the Sonya in there. So if you drop on top of everything that those two bring to the table, also the Lightning Shield on them, it really helps you. And also for a melee heavy front line, the chain heals for Rhaegar are just absolutely fantastic. And they decided in this case they want to go down a different route. This is also going to help out the Vala a bit. Still a solid composition for them, no doubt about it. And then on the other hand, of course, now the Gul'dan over the Kel'Thas, which Mana usually likes to play on the map. But yeah, they've been denied the Gul'dan every single step of the way. And at this point, you're just like, all right, guys, if I finally get my chance, here we go.
It's time to pull it out. I like the Ariel too, just mainly because of the ability to interrupt the Horrifies. If the Ariel plays safely enough, she can drop the Aegis, and that means your teammate doesn't get too far away from the actual team fight. Both healers are great here. It's just a matter of preference.
Yeah, but the Aegis is definitely a very good point to raise here. If the Horrify comes in, if you expect your opponent to take the Gul'dan, no Horrify comes into play, then making sure that you drop that Aegis there, that can really be the difference of winning or losing a team fight.
Well, in terms of actual compositions, looking at it, for Infernal Shrines, playing Ducks actually has a really good comp. They have their Sonya in the front line, they have Arthas that can hold down that Shrine phase relatively well, Bala can dance, they have the Arya for the heal, and they have Zarya for that support. On the other side, Dignitas does have the global pressure, so they can get that experience, and it is a on-fire Dignitas, so it's very hard to fight against them.
On fire is a very good way of putting it. The last game was crazy good from them. The first one as well. On the first one, the one thing that stood out to me was really their macro play, their rotations, especially in the early game with the double globals. And then on the last one, these combos that they had with Stitches and just how they played around that. So I have to say, Dignitas at this point in the series looks unbeatable. And the Playing Ducks, they have to prove that they are able to take a game of them.
Can the Playing Ducks put a wrench in the plans of Dignitas? Let's find out here as the Playing Ducks will take them on in Infernal Shrines.
Our third map, Infernal Shrines, starting up, and the Playing Ducks, they really need a win at this point. Down 2 games already as is, and them starting off to the left side in blue once more with Wolf Joe on the Oriel, Nanda on the Sonya, Chris this time on Vala, Sport Billy jumping on the Zarya, and Chris Blosian is playing the Arthas.
Dignitas currently on fire, will be in the red, up 2-0. Bakery on his Malfurion. JPL on the Murd, and watch for him to do aggressive jumps. Snitch on Greymane. We're going to have Mene on the Gul'dan and Zalia on Dahaka.
And also we have immediately Perfect Storm on the side of good old Muradin. So he's definitely going to try and get those extra stacks in.
Can work with them when you have a double tank, not a bad talent to pick up. We saw it in the Chinese scene very often at the Eastern Clash. Now being picked up by JPL as he runs to the bottom left and starts his own damage against a 4-man squad push of the Playing Ducks.
Yeah, up to the top lane, we see that more or less mirrored by 3 heroes of Team Dignitas attempting to take a few structures down. With the help of Greymane, we were able to eliminate one of the towers pretty quickly. But this onslaught that they're facing at the bot lane is pretty tough to beat.
Chris Blosian leading the charge, and yeah, Ball's gonna be working in there. And Team Dignitas is actually already on the core. That Greymane can chunk pretty quickly. Should be a fort trade-off for both of our teams, though. As Snitch will go ahead and start clawing away. Sonya wants to rotate in to help defend that area. But actually, with the mini-wave showing up, Dignitas is going to lose out on the rotation. So many people being out here with all 4 pushing in for the Playing Ducks. That 1 extra man was enough to break down a fort.
Dignitas has to wait for the extra wave up to the top, but the one thing that I want to highlight is that there's no one at the top lane to soak the experiments. So this should turn into a favorable position for Dignitas once they destroy the structures.
And there it goes. It does fall. Sonya's been sitting in the back left. Haka's coming down to rotate to Dignitas as Playing Ducks is going all in on the keep life, man. I didn't realize we were playing ARAM.
Yeah, they are actually just like trying to just barrel down the lane here. And both of these teams have just been simply been saying, we are going to annihilate your structures. Snitch is trying to threaten Nanda a bit. But both of them are going to hit level 4 around the same time. Arthur's dead, on the other hand. That's an issue, especially with the timing that we're having here. And it looks like they are not really done there to look and see if they can maybe, with JPL and his Stormbolt, lock another target down.
Yeah, they're keeping me here. That way they don't have time to run back home and set up and head to that top shrine that has spawned here. And this works out really well for Dignitas. The shrine being at the top, they can now apply pressure to a keep.
And look at the experience lead. This is an entire level that they're nearly up. Of course, some of that tickles back in for Playing Ducks as the waves are pushing in, but losing out on the waves at the top lane, that was definitely a problem, because Playing Ducks actually destroyed more structures than Dignitas. So by that, they should be slightly ahead, but it's the exact opposite, because no one was soaking at the top lane for the Playing Ducks. They were trying to push a bit heavier than Dignitas, and now we have Dignitas in a pretty dominant position, and as you pointed out, the shrine position also in their favor.
Ducks seem to really enjoy this bottom lane. They're grabbing the mercs. They're going to push in once again with Arthas and Sport Billy. Now, my question is, are they going to force Dignitas to come defend on the bottom keep? Digley's one member to the top to clear out. They're going to leave the Greymane. He'll be able to get that Punisher done pretty soon here. And Playing Ducks is just going to go ahead and move on the bottom lane. Interesting strategies from them.
Yeah, like they're really forcing this. Sonya's the only one at the top, so it's a 4 versus 4 down here. Okay, that's a good lockdown that we have against JPL, but he's able to jump out. So after the Howling Blast and the Detainment Strike, there's very little that they can use to lock him down here. And the defense for Dignitas is on point, whereas Greymane is just waiting out the Punisher up to the top and saying like, yeah, I can take that any time, and there's no rush right now.
Yeah, they're delaying it. If they could ideally, in a world, wait till level 10 to get that Punisher, they could push in, get a Horrify, and maybe get a kill and win the game. So they don't have to grab it now.
You are a very patient man. That's 4 levels.
That is 4 levels, but if Playing Ducks are going to play this game and sitting in the bottom lane the entire time, Dignitas doesn't have to play it. They can control the map, get the experience lead like they've had, and continue to get into a spot where eventually they grab the heroics and then go for a push.
Yeah, I would say at some point Dignitas, or Playing Ducks at least, is going to say, yeah, that's not going to happen, so they move in. But with the level 7 talent, that's where Dignitas draws the line and says like, okay, we've waited long enough.
Okay, 7 is here. Dreaming finishes up. Dahaka's in the bottom, keeping an eye out for the Ducks. The Ducks have all backed home, and they will be there to defend the Punisher. 7.5 experience for Dignitas as they gain a slight lead there from controlling the minion waves. Here comes the Punisher.
Yeah, they open up the wall. Punisher is gonna jump in. Immediately the cleanse, follow up on Crisplosion, but he's able to walk away. Dahaka still soaking bottom and mid, and they push through the wall at the keep. We have 4 minutes and 20 seconds in, and Dignitas already was able to open up an entire wall towards the keep, down to the bottom of the map. We have a similar situation for playing Ducks, so both of these teams have already a very strong position on one of the lanes to potentially take an early keep and maybe even escort a Punisher towards the core.
The map is oddly lopsided right now, based on this early and that's happened between these teams. Dignitas will now be able to open up the middle here, grab some mercs. Dahaka will always be on soak duty, and with level 10 on the horizon, Dignitas will aim to get a fight soon.
Not only the fight, the level 10 for them could really sync up very well with the next Punisher now too.
Yeah. Crisplosion in the top as 4-man rotation just continues. They just want to kill infrastructure. They don't care, man.
Yeah, they don't give a duck. They just go in and try and take them down here. JPL with a lockdown attempt once again as we see Dignitas flanking once more.
I'm so proud of you, Caldor. You don't understand. I'm so proud of you right now.
I'm trying so hard.
Snitch gets poked by the hungering arrow from the playing Ducks. 10 so close, and Ducks are just scrambling now to clear whatever they can here to kind of close that gap that's been floating around that Dignitas has earned so well here.
Yeah, they really have to hurry because that level 10 is going to hit any moment, and we should see a shrine announcement in just a few. Camps are now taken, and Dignitas, I mean, they have been so dominant throughout the last 2 games, and this is looking very good for them too. They even delay now the camp. Now, the reason why they are taking this a little bit later is because they're waiting for the next shrine announcement. This is going to force the Ducks to react to it, to react to the camp at the top lane, and takes even more pressure away from the shrine that's going to spawn. Bakery is assisting Mene, has the vision here now too, so he's waiting a little bit, and yeah, there we go. Top lane push, thanks to the camp, so most likely Nanda's going to take care of that. And in the meantime, we have Dignitas focusing on the shrine.
And Dahaka can just in that top lane and push with it too. Buy as much time as possible while everyone else from Dignitas rotates.
So if there's one lesson to learn, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this right now and you want to take something from for your own games, it's really that blindless and mindlessly taking any camp on the map is not always the best choice. Sometimes just like waiting them out a little bit and timing them perfectly with the objective is what gives you a big advantage over the opponent's team. So always something to keep in mind when you're playing in Hero League, in Team League, or in any kind of competitive setup.
Patience and using your brain. The lessons that HGC will teach you. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you walk away and your Hero League games get much better because of that. 10 does hit for the playing Ducks as they run top and they grab a turret. However, the shrine has been grabbed by Dignitas 32-3. There's no way the playing Ducks should be able to grab this unless they fully team wipe Dignitas right now.
Yeah, JPL was just delaying them a little bit, making sure that the rest of his team is able to pick up the rest of the minions that they need, buying just a few seconds for him. And again, the lockdown against Nanda, and he's immediately being attacked here. So great job by Dignitas once more. They still maintain that 1-level lead, and look where Dahaka is at the top lane, gaining more experience.
Dahaka on the top lane, you start putting some keep damage on there relatively soon. The Aegis has been popped here. The Horrify has been also been used. We're going to have the counter engage from Chris. He's going to hit the Rain of Vengeance. Bakery pops out the Twilight Dream. JPL's low.
Yeah, jumps out though, and Dahaka was trying to flank here, moves back for now. And at the same time, we have playing Ducks at least pushing Dignitas off the fort, but that Punisher is still doing some work. Now the hunt for Dahaka continues as we see particle grenades thrown all over the place. Sport Billy is seeing if maybe somewhere in one of these bushes Dahaka is hiding, which is not the case. He's currently in the mid lane, soaking even more. And Dignitas is just saying thanks for the experience, walks away, doesn't engage into any big battle. They're very, very comfortable waiting for level 13.
As they should be. They've been comfortable the entire game here, just keeping the slight lead. You know, they just kind of have their foot on the throat of the playing Ducks just by a small amount of pressure and looking to eventually get the keep as this map continues to be open. The Dahaka just being the main linchpin here for Dignitas that keeps them here with the rotations constantly happening. Now, the bottom lane is the trouble lane for Dignitas. This is where they should be causing much trouble as possible. Keeping members down here allows Dahaka to rotate between the middle and the top, which allows for him to be the pressure-asaurus that he is.
And if you want to really appreciate what Dignitas is doing here, just look quickly at how many kills we see in this game. A single kill. It was 1 kill at the bot lane as the playing Ducks were retreating, and we have Dignitas still ahead an entire level. They're doing so well here, and this is just because of the smart decisions they're making. And the playing Ducks are trying to close that gap, but now it's the talent advantage. And what does Dignitas do? Immediately they engage. They hit the talent, and immediately they turn from being in a more defensive position, playing around the opponent, into an aggressive stance, jumping in and trying to get a kill there. So this is exactly what you need to do. Pick your fights in a smart way where you see, okay, do we have an edge right now over our opponent? Yes or no? Do we really need to fight? What can we gain? What can we lose in this scenario?
JPL is actually watching the flank here on the left by the fort. This will open up an avenue for Dignitas to move in and go for the fort themselves, which will give them experience and also open up the battleground. There will be a shrine in the middle activating in the next 9 seconds, but Dignitas easily walks away with the fort takedown. Again, a master lesson in rotations.
Beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful what they are doing with the rotations here. The playing Ducks have also done a fantastic job always rotating to off lanes and taking a few of the structures. But again, they're in a spot where they need to gain more experience before they can face the music on the shrine itself. And Dignitas is using that time window that they have now to get a lead in minion counts. But this is going to be a battle. Once the playing Ducks reach 13, they have to make a stand here, and they will. So they're just waiting for that to kick in.
We're watching for the Horrify. Chris Explosion moves in. The drag does connect on Arthas. There's a follow-up route. Mayonnaise on the right side poking. With Explosion being out, Dignitas will play patiently, wait for the playing Ducks to overextend, and then JPL can go for another engage.
Well, that's the moment where the playing Ducks might be able to come back into this and close that gap in experience. They're moving in once again. Nanda needs to be careful. He's trying to put some pressure onto Xaylia. Same
Big
time,
route.
here's the lockdown. Aegis being used already. They're jumping in. We have the Horrify being used now too from Gul'dan. The Tainment Strike, Muradin, and he is down.
The playing Ducks get a takedown, and now they can move to grab the shrine. They're clearing it out, all 5 members up, and they will get awarded an Arcane Punisher. Nice layered aggression from them. The ranged avenge is important for the team, and Nande being careful in that front line with Sonya.
Yeah, very well done here from the playing Ducks. They grab the Punisher, and now they have a bit of momentum going for them. Arcane Punisher should also net them quite a bit of experience. Taking down the structures here. They're moving in more aggressively towards Snitch, who moves away. And Xaylia, in the meantime, doing their Haka things up at the top lane, making sure that he's getting even more experience and pushes out the lanes.
I like the pressure here from the playing Ducks, knowing that Dignitas, when they get to 16 and 20, that Greymane and Gul'dan becomes so stressful and a team fight to manage with. If they push it now, they can start grabbing pressure on the keep. JPL dives in. He's looking at Chris. Here is Nande on the Sonya. He goes in for the spear, does connect with Dahaka, but with the retreat from Xaylia, Dignitas holds.
Explosion was in a scary position there for a second, but is able to retreat now. So Dignitas is still in a lead in experience, but that gap is slowly closing as we have the playing Ducks making good moves and taking experience on the map. The top lane is something that they have to watch out for, though, because Xaylia has been pushing that out the entire time. So Sonya is taking the opportunity to get some experience. And yeah, 16. Again, we're talking about that 1 level lead that Dignitas is able to maintain, and where they will always at some point reach that talent lead, which is giving them the advantage in the team fights.
16 hitting. There's that lead that you were talking about, now having the talent, and they are geared up for a push in the bottom left. JPL is in the front. He's keeping an eye on the playing Ducks. The moment they retreat, he can call that out. Dahaka wisely walks over to the bush to make sure no flank happens. Team Dignitas is going to start getting damage on that keep wall.
Yeah, they're moving in again and already setting up the Haka in that position. We're having vision as well. JPL moving forward now too. If they can get a kill here, now that they have the talent lead, they can of course also push this further in and maybe even drop the keep. But this is something that the Ducks are very aware of, so they're just like staying behind a bit and not engaging into anything right now. And that follows with Dignitas not wasting too much time. They're actually just sitting there saying like, all right, we get it, we move into the middle and take it from there.
I do like that playing Ducks didn't have an overreaction to the push from Dignitas. They just allowed Sonya to sit in the middle and then rotate the top to grab experience. Nande is playing safe, but he's playing well enough to where he can at least grab the experience for the Ducks, which is helping them close that gap. This will be the opportunity for the playing Ducks to make a fight here on an even talent tier. And then the last time they did that, they actually won on the Shrine phase.
Yeah, exactly. They're playing a very smart game now too. They just wait for the next talent. This time it's going to happen just when that Shrine is online. So this is absolutely perfect for them. This is the best fight they're going to get. The last time, they won the Punisher, which was big for them. And Dignitas at this point, they're still slightly ahead, but they take the camp at the top. And again, this is so good. Look at Dehaka. He takes another wave up at the top lane. This will open the path for the camp, and this is going to directly threaten the keep. The longer the fight over this shrine now lasts, the more value Dignitas is going to get. Dehaka cleared the wave. Now he can move into the middle. He's looking if he can see him do a little bit more, but we'll probably see him pop up here any second, and there he is.
He pops in, the drag is connecting, the fear hits as well, and Fala is eliminated. That's a 2-kill here from Dignitas. Chris Explosion also getting focused.
3 heroes down the top lane, pushing towards the keep. Dignitas is moving on the shrine. They are again just playing the perfect setup here. As is, the playing Ducks will be able to take the camp at the top lane down. But this was a loss-loss situation. This was more or less a checkmate that Dignitas just forced onto them. Because no matter what happens, if that fight in the shrine area drags out, top keep is gonna fall eventually. If it doesn't, they win the Punisher. So one way or another, they win.
And they might have a full win here. If Playing Ducks loses one member in this keep defense, Dignitas can move forward and go for the aggressive play on the core, especially knowing that they have Greymane. He just shreds through those scores so quickly. And if they don't actually or if they actually don't lose anybody here, Dignitas is just using the Dehaka to soak in the middle lane. He grabbed a little bit more experience, and now he's joining the team.
I mean, the keep is already down. They won't have the 20 advantage, so this is all about the question if they can get a kill or not. They are trying to move in and end this. This is really what... Oh my god, Chris is caught. Oriel with the Aegis.
They catch him there. He goes around, and that is a pot Fala. Team Dignitas puts their eyes on the core. They're looking for a 3-0.
Yeah, this is not looking good. Once again, the fight starting. Wolfjoy is in a bit of trouble. The heal comes through, but Oriel is still down. Dignitas with a double, with a triple. This should be game.
And Chris Explosion hoping to take out a Malfurion, and maybe they can have a miracle defense, but with him falling, only Sonya is left, and she decides to dance on the left side, hitting that 2 button you were talking about. The core falling to 30%, 20%, 10%, 0%. Team Dignitas walks away with a 3-0. GG.
Taking the game here, a 3-0 victory for Dignitas. And that was a statement right there. Team Liquid, you might be undefeated up to now, but this is going to change soon.
That's a shout out to both Team Liquid and Fnatic as well.
Yeah.
Dignitas wanting to move up the ladder here in the standings, and it's obvious here. They did not stop at all after Western Clash. They had been preparing and preparing, and it looks good.
It looks really good. I mean, that was an extremely solid performance. They lost one fight, one hero in the middle, and that was it. And it was incredible smart play. It's not like they just have great team fighting and they win these fights. They do that too. But what stands out even more is how smart they move on the map. Always good rotations, trying to get a kill, trying to maybe get a tower, trying to get a fort, having that Dehaka, soaking the lane, timing their camps perfectly, and always putting the opponent in a trade-off situation where you have to make a choice. Do I defend my lane or do I play the objective? The Ducks were always faced with that decision, and that made their game extremely difficult.
And it's not like the Ducks are a poor team at all. We were talking about it before the matchup. This is a team that we expect to do well over the next couple of weeks. They're growing slowly and getting better as a team. And I expected them to put more of a fight. They did last time, but that also shows how much Dignitas has grown. The last time these two faced off, Playing Ducks had a chance. There was moments where we thought they'd get a win. But overall, Dignitas has been putting the work and it's been showing off, and we have someone to talk to. Snitch, thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Snitch, dude, first off, congratulations on your victory today. I just want to ask you, did you have Cheerios or Wheaties this morning? Your team is looking fantastic.
If I'm going to be honest with you, I actually had Cheerios this morning, so I don't know how you knew that trick clip. I'm a little bit concerned that you're looking too closely into my life.
I mean, it's okay, man. We're friends. It's cool. It's cool. You don't have to overthink it. First off, I just want to ask you guys, after the Western Clash, how did preparation go? Did you guys take a break, or did you guys just start studying?
I mean, we definitely took a break. I don't think you could play 14 games straight without burning out, at least for a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, totally.
Yeah, we took a little bit of a break, and then we came back feeling refreshed, and since then, practice has gone really well. We've adapted to the meta really quickly, we feel, and yeah, we're looking really strong as a team, I think.
You guys had actually a bit of a rough start into the last season, so your first games when HGC started didn't really look all that great. Right now, on the other hand, that looked, we said it during the cast, it looked like a statement to Fnatic and to Team Liquid. We're coming for you. Do you feel confident going into these games soon?
I mean, I think obviously we've proven we can beat both of those teams. Online is obviously a different story. You know, we're the offline miracle team, so we have to kind of break that reputation and prove that we can beat them online as well. But I think we're definitely far more confident than we were in the previous part. and yeah, we can definitely take them as soon as we get to those games. Yeah.
Look definitely incredibly strong. So really well played, and congratulations to the victory.
Thank you very much.
We're very happy for you. And again, talking about the first couple of weeks, you've already played the Playing Ducks. You beat them a second time. You've already played against Expert in the past, and you will face them tomorrow. Are you guys feeling as confident about that match as you were today?
I mean, we've got the expert factor where, they're going to pull out a whole host of picks that we'll have no idea what to do against, and we'll have to adapt in the game. But like last time, I think, our ability to play as a team and our individual skill prevailed over them, and I think we're all confident that it will again. So, yeah, I think we'll beat them tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, it's always great to hear from you, Snitch. Before we let you go, any shout-outs?
Yeah, shout out to my team, shout out to Team Dignitas and our sponsors, shout out to all of our fans who are watching today. We've had the support coming on Twitter again. It's all really important to all of us. So shout out to all you guys who are watching from home, and yeah, shout out to everyone, I guess. I kind of lost track of my train of thought.
That's perfect. You did it. You did it. It's great. Congratulations to Team Dignitas. They walk away with a victory over the Playing Ducks, and this is a team that is looking like they are just coming together. The glue is definitely hitting.
Yeah, and we're also going to take a quick look at one of the scenes that really happened in the last game with that one fight that really helped them there. So this is the moment we can just stop that for 1 second. So at this point, we actually have Azalea getting the drag. He came from the top lane that we see now pushing. And at this point, Nanda saved for a second with the quick Aegis, but that didn't really work out. So that's 2 kills right off the get-go. Perfect burrow-in by Azalea. And as we go forward, we can see that they just like completely clean house here. Chris Explosion down there is trying for a moment to just zone out Snitch, but that didn't work out at all. He's isolated, gets taken out too after his support is dead, so that was absolutely fantastic play, and at this point, this was really the beginning of the end for them.
The best part about that is we were in a game that was what many would consider slow-paced. There was a lot of dancing around, a lot of map control, but the moment that Dignitas needed to turn it around and turn the heat up, it was instant, and it was so well coordinated.
I mean, there's one thing, like, of course, we all love the games where it's just like back and forth brawling and you see just the kills ramping up. But you have to really watch one of these a game like this and appreciate how well this is done, especially when we see what happened also on Braxis, for example. The thought process behind those decisions and how smart they time everything, it is fascinating. And this is one of the games where you can learn actually the most, because you just see, okay, how do I move on the map? How do I rotate properly? When do I fight and when do I just want to let a fight go? They always ask themselves the question, what happens if we fight here? What do we gain if we win, and what do we lose overall if the fight is not going our way? And they make perfect decisions in all of the games, so an absolutely outstanding performance by Dignitas today.
Exciting that we get to watch them tomorrow facing off against Team Expert, who we saw on Friday. Team Expert played against Fnatic, and granted, it was
we got a guys low.
A bit favored, yeah, for Fnatic, but it was definitely a oddball composition, and I'm excited to see more from them. It's going to be a great matchup. Let's go ahead and check out the standings. After Dignitas secures that victory, they are hanging out with Fnatic and Team Liquid in the top 3, starting to distance themselves from the middle of the pack, Expert and the Playing Ducks.
Yeah, so right now, once again, we're having down at the bottom. This is especially the battle with Tricked Esports and Synergy right now when we're talking about the potential Crucible. But of course, the top 3 still looking strong here. And Expert is tomorrow going to try and make a play for those spots up at the top.
And if you're Synergy, you got to be slightly frightened. The performance from Tricked Esports, even though they lost a match against Team Liquid, it was outstanding. They are another team that has just made leaps and bounds in their teamwork.
Yeah, but Synergy with a very healthy attitude, I feel, towards it. They're saying, okay, we're improving here. We're taking it one game at a time. We know we have to win against Trick Esports. We know we have to win against the Playing Ducks, so they're going to put the work in here. And then we have to find out which one of these 3 teams is going to fall down there. Because at this point, it looks like Big Genius, they have to pull it out on a bit of a miracle if they really want to make it out of those spots.
Big Genius has 4 weeks to basically put themselves in a spot to even have a chance. But right now, they are definitely on the chopping block for the Crucibles. And if you're looking at Big Genius, you have to start thinking about researching the open teams, because there is a very real threat that Big Genius will be in a spot where they have to face off against them.
Yeah, it's definitely a reality, but I think they still can make it, but they have to change that drafting a bit. I feel this is currently their biggest weakness. We saw good team fights from them, but their drafts always put them a little bit behind, I feel. I think when Snitch just talked about how they adapted very well and fast to the meta, that was crucial because I think this is something that BGenius still struggles with a bit, that they haven't adapted as fast as they would want to. Now seeing all those games come in, I think they're going to take a good look at what other teams did over the weekend, and they will probably adapt it a little bit better going into next week. But yeah, they definitely need to change that up.
Well, there will be more HGC Europe tomorrow. That's it from us today. Get ready for North America.
Lucio coming at you. Since he was a child, Lucio has always believed in using music to bring people together. When the Vishkar Corporation moved in and began to exploit his community, Lucio repurposed the company's sonic technology and used it to lead an uprising. He became an overnight celebrity and started touring the world in sold-out shows to promote positive social change. Now, Lucio fights for justice as he drops the beat around the world and throughout the Nexus. Lucio is a highly mobile support hero who constantly heals or increases the movement speed of all nearby allies. Lucio is able to attack enemies while moving, and his weapon never needs to be reloaded. His trait, Wall Ride, automatically increases his movement speed and allows him to pass through units as long as he's moving next to a wall or structure. Lucio's first ability, Sound Wave, fires a sonic blast that damages and knocks back all enemies in its arc. Crossfade toggles between the two songs that Lucio is constantly playing to support himself and nearby allies. Use his Speed Boost song to increase movement speed, or his Healing Boost song to heal. When Lucio uses Amp It Up, the effect of the song he's currently playing is increased for a short period. Healing Boost heals for dramatically more per second, and Speed Boost grants allies even more movement speed. Lucio's first heroic ability, Sound Barrier, works just as it does in Overwatch, providing all nearby teammates with a powerful shield that decays over a short window of time. Reverse Amp is a more offense-oriented heroic. When cast, it applies a negative effect to all nearby enemies. This effect is the opposite of what Lucio's current song does for his allies. If he's playing Speed Boost, all nearby enemies are slowed. If he's playing Healing Boost, all nearby enemies take damage over time. This is in addition to the positive effect each song provides for his own team.